The next piece I'm going to be talking about is the merry-go-round, and the city and country of work is Florence, Italy, most likely, and the specific location is at the Pitti Palace, temporarily at least, an exhibition there, and the artist responsible for work is Guido Peroni. The artist's nationality is Italian. The medium of work is oil on canvas. The period of work it's in the 1920s, which has like a bunch of different, all happening at once, but this most neatly fits into expressionism. The historical relevance is that it was just after World War II, and there's a shift in artistic style, which you can actually see because the exhibit kind of goes through his life, like, chronologically, and you can kind of see pretty much when the war happened, and this is the one that's, like, a big shift in the style, and that's kind of just, like, I can't think of it, kind of, like, it's like a metaphor, I don't know, I'm forgetting the word right now, but it kind of, like, encapsulates the whole thing by actually following his work. The piece was created as a reflection of the artist's view of the world that surrounded him. It was on point with many other, like, the point of art for many other expressionist artists at the time. How long it takes to create is unknown, but it's dated in, like, circa 1920. The defining characteristics of this work are that a dreary earth-tone palette shows a Tuscan neighborhood where a merry-go-round with its horses sits stagnant, covered by its tarp. The historical contributions of the artist are that he was a member of the Novecento Toscano group and was a lecturer at the Academy of Fine Arts in Ravenna and later at the Art Institute of Lucca. My personal observation was that it's very stale. The scene itself is very stale and cold, and that's communicated to the viewer through, like, the bare branches on the trees, and then all the people are in, like, winter fall clothing, but they all have their backs turned to the viewer. There's not a single, like, face in the whole thing, even though there's, I think, like, 5 or 6 people actually in the scene. There's no faces. I chose this work because I was intrigued by the museum's excerpt that interpreted the scene as, like, a loss of adolescence and a nostalgia that can't be returned to. It's kind of from his own personal point of view, growing up in Tuscany and stuff like that, but I like how they made it more of, like, a broad interpretation. It compares to other works from the period, like, quite well. It's typical for a lot of post-World War I art. Because, like I said, it was a change of tone from, like, say, Fauvism, especially in Europe, and America was a little bit different because there was, like, the Harlem Renaissance and stuff, but especially in Europe, there was kind of, like, very dark tones during this time. The fun fact is that the word for merry-go-round in Italian is la giostra.